So we've heard a lot about data. Do you believe in data? How do we advance here? Green arrow. No, green arrow. Pressing the green arrow. There we go. Okay. So are you a creationist when it comes to data? Did it just magically, slides advance? There we go. So did data just come from on high and slides aren't advancing? No, slides aren't working. But so the data just magically exist? Did it just come to us? Or are you a data evolutionist, such that you think that data came from a sensor, some physical quantity in the world that we want to measure, transduced through some way to create a signal through some data acquisition box into data that we can then access? So data comes from someplace. It evolved from a sensor. I'll talk to you a little bit about the start of data's evolutionary chain, so it's sensing, and a little bit about SENSE.nano, which is the first center of excellence enabled by MIT Nano, our new 200,000 square foot nanofabrication, nanocharacterization facility. When I talk about sensing, I include in that sensors, so IoT, Internet of Things, so small sensors that are deployed onto machines or into people that get a data stream from the world, or sensing systems, atomic force microscopes, scanning electron microscopes. Here is a system from Kamal Yusuftoumi that's an AFM, atomic force microscope, that can image chemical processes on a surface at high frame rates, so we can understand chemical processes. Or work by Sangeeta Bhatia, where a sensing solution, a sensing technique, deploys nanoparticles into the world, into a person. Those nanoparticles are chemically enabled. They interact with the biology and are passed and retrieved and are characterized to understand and collect some data from the person. So this is an interesting time to be involved in the creation of technology for sensors. Not only because everybody wants the data that our sensors are producing. We have this massive infrastructure, big data, the cloud, somebody else's computer, to produce and crunch on data. But where our data is coming from in the not too distant future will be starved. We have a phenomenal amount of investment in the US in developing manufacturing processes that are integrated photonics or flexible electronics or fiber manufacturing that allows us to embed technology into novel materials. And then we have MIT Nano, which is a central resource at MIT to enable people to develop innovative materials, innovative processes, innovating sensors across all of campus. So let me walk through a brief example of what a novel sensor can do. Aerosols, as an example, aerosols are either fluid or solid in air. They can be liquids, they can be solids, embedded smoke, mists. Why do we care about aerosols? Or what do we care about when we think about an aerosol? We care about the size of the particles. We care about the chemicals of the particles. We care about how many of these individual particles are in the air. And why do we care about them? We care about particles in the air for security reasons, whether it be homeland security, environmental pollution, but in healthcare. We have an opportunity, if we are able to monitor an inhaled aerosol, we can use that for enhanced drug delivery. The size of aerosols in the lungs will dictate where they get embedded, and we can control size and chemistry to perform innovative drug delivery procedures. We can also characterize exhaled breath and get a fingerprint, a lung print, to understand the state of health of lungs. Right? So we have a lot of interesting reasons to want to be able to characterize aerosols. So how do we characterize aerosols now? It's expensive instrumentation, typically done in the lab. But if we want to measure all of these things, the size, the count, the chemistry, and we want to do that at point of care, I propose that we want to use something that is an integrated photonic circuit. So briefly, what is integrated photonics? Everybody has electronics in your pocket. These electronics work on the motion of electrons. They're powered by voltage supplies. You have resistors, capacitors. We can put small light pipes on the same substrate that work on the motion of photons, the operating pieces being waveguides, lasers, detectors, modulators. For aerosol sensing, what we do is we put a small little pipe, a light pipe, on a substrate. That light pipe interacts with a ring resonator, something that's analogous to a pipe organ that resonates at a particular wavelength. When the particles fall on top of this ring resonator, how it resonates will shift. Shift either in wavelength or, depending on the chemistry of the particle, will shift in amplitude. We put thousands of these little ring resonators onto a substrate. Each one a little bit different, resonates at a different wavelength, have slightly different properties. And we turn this idea of a single individual sensor to the sensor itself being a big data sensor. Thousands of these ring resonators made with an innovative manufacturing process to give us data across many different wavelengths, many of these sensors, such that we create a massive fingerprint on the sensor itself, a terabyte worth of data, in effect, coming out of these thousands of ring resonators across different wavelengths, across different particles falling on top of it. And we're able to get, by analyzing that data, instead of having a singular high-resolution sensor, analyze that fingerprint worth of data to get the count, size, shape, and chemistry. We're doing that and many other things at MIT Nano. SENSE.nano is the first center of excellence really dedicated to bringing the MIT community, both on campus and off campus, to look at novel sensors that touch upon all the departments across the campus. And I'll conclude with, if you believe in data, then your faith is in sensing. Thank you.